I agree in part with the Chamber's position. I would tell you that the benefits are not overly generous. Again, our retirees do not get Social Security. When my daddy died last year, my mother, who was a 30-year nurse in a charity hospital system, state employee, found out not only does she not get Social Security for herself, she doesn't get my dad's Social Security either. And she's not getting cost of living allowances either if we don't actually enact them. And what I want everybody to understand, the normal cost of our pension systems in the state of Louisiana is very reasonable. The reason we have all the extraordinary cost is the unfunded accrued liability, which occurred because the state of Louisiana, as the employer, for years and years and years, knowingly failed to put up its contribution. And they created an unfunded liability. And now that it's been created, the answer, it seems, for some people is to make today's state workers and school teachers pay more than they should otherwise have to pay or have a reduced benefit at the other end. I don't think that's the answer. And by the way, in 1988, the initial unfunded accrued liability was put on a 40-year plan to pay it off. We're on target, and we actually are starting to go down the backside of the slope because they didn't create 40 years of level payments. They didn't want to do that to themselves, and so they put the big payments on the back end. Well, we are there now, and even though it started in 1988, we've only been paying principal on the debt for 2 years. But we actually are seeing, in fact, the school systems this year are going to pay less towards their employees' retirement than they paid last year. And so maximum pain has already been realized here, and I don't believe we have benefits that are too generous, to be very honest with you. The normal costs are reasonable. We do have a big cost. It is a big burden. It is hard because of the unfunded accrued liability, but I don't believe the answer is to make today's state workers and school teachers pay more than they should have to pay, wait longer for the benefit than they should have to wait, or to receive a reduced benefit. And when the proposal a couple years ago in 2012 was to move towards a cash balance system, which was a hybrid between defined benefits and defined contribution, it actually had an actuarial cost associated with it. It was going to cost us more than today's system. That's why it required a 2/3 vote, which it didn't get. And by the way, I didn't vote for it either because even though it had a higher actuarial cost, the benefits were going to be greatly reduced. And so I understand the controversy around our pension system. I do not support going to a defined contribution system for the reasons that I just outlined. I believe we owe our school teachers and our state workers for a career of dedicated public service to our children and to our state, security and dignity in retirement. I understand they don't have Social Security, and the only way we could opt out of the Social Security system was to promise these people that we would have an equivalent benefit for them. And so I'm not in favor and don't agree with much of what you said, Marquis, but I love you. Okay.